Okay, so now we're in the next set of the 48 ways. Kind of attitude towards life mishnahs. And it's going to be Eima, Yira, Anava, Simcha, Tahara. Eima, Yira, Anava, Simcha, Tahara. Eima. So what's Eima? Eima is awe. It's the exact opposite of cynicism. It's also the opposite. Well, you can't be the exact opposite of two different things, but it's the opposite of thinking and realizing and feeling that the world is mundane. The first, a huge block to learning is cynicism. Is, try to teach a teenager anything when anything you say to him is like, I saw something cool, and he's like, oh, it's just stupid, it's useless, it's like, it's pointless, it's meaningless. It's like, don't be, right? If you think that the world, if you're cynical, if you think that the world is just all kind of stupid, or if you think it's mundane, there's nothing interesting or exciting about it, he says you close yourself off from the ability to learn. Rav Noach says that there are two kinds of awe. There's the big awe and the little awe. Right? Big awe is what you feel when you realize that the tide came in, that a wave came onto shore and bulldozed everything within 500 feet or 1,000 feet of the coast from Maryland to Connecticut. How in the world, right? Like, the biggest thing we've ever built, and you can wash it all away as if it were kids who built sandcastles on the beach. Right? To go to the Grand Canyon and look out over the, something that's miles wide, it's gorgeous, right? The big awe of like, whoa, that's insane, right? There's also the small awe. And when you look at your daughter's fingernails, when they're tiny little girl, and you see the shape of it, like it looks just like your finger. You look at a newborn and her finger looks just like yours. It's like, right? We're talking a little teeny mini person, 19, 20 inches tall. And it's like, how'd you do that, right? To look at a flower, the intricate pout, it's like, whoa. He says, awe is the awareness of overwhelming greatness. It's a feeling done properly of insignificance in the face of greatness. It's the first step towards sanity. Right? It's the first step towards a positive, proper, and clear perception of reality. Is the recognition that the world is really, really cool. That there's amazing stuff in the world. Right? What motivates a person to learn? What motivates a person to be open? Right? Chachma, I want to grow, I want to know more. I'm willing to pick up National Geographic magazine and look through it because there's so many places in the world that I've never seen. Yeah, it's cool. I don't know about you, I love that, you see a National Geographic article or you read an article about something someplace and it talks about, Ulaanbaatar. It's like, what the coolness is? You can take Google Earth satellite stuff now and fly in and look and see what the landscape looks like in Ulaanbaatar. And say, this is cool. Or you can read about the people, or it's like, it's interesting. It's neat. It's like, this is great. As opposed to the person who just says, what? Whatever. Right? Whatever. What are you bothering me for? It's all stupid. It's all the same. You know what? You see the hills of Greece. You see the hills. Why would I want to go to Greece when I go to Malibu and go wander through the dirty chaparral over there? Right? It's like, it's dirty chaparral here, it's dirty chaparral there. It's like, what do I need it for? Right? If there's no interest, if you don't see the world as awesome, if you can't feel that there's stuff out there in the world that's just really, really bitching, right? It's cool. It's great, right? Right? That's why it wipes out teenagers because they're cynical. Wipes out people because you're just bored. You can't be bored if you think the world just rocks. The world is there's like great stuff out there, right? That's awe. Awe is the emotional pleasure of feeling insignificant in the face of greatness. that there's an emotional pleasure to standing on the beach watching 20-foot waves crashing out there, thinking, I am not taking my boogie board out into that stuff. It's like, whoa, right? There's something cool about standing on skis or a snowboard, I don't know which is your thing, at the top of a mountain and you look down the lip and you're like, whoa, I don't know how I'm getting down that. And you feel little. And it feels good to be little because you know that there's greatness. You know that there's stuff out there, right, that's important. I mean, to a certain extent, on a small thing, you know, when you see the people standing at the presidential election rally and they're dancing and they're singing, because they feel greatness. I'm part of something huge and wonderful and great and important and significant, right? You can't understand or connect to your Creator if you can't recognize that I'm small and He's large. You can't connect to anything if you think the world's just mundane and kind of stupid and silly and boring and pointless, right? So the first step, the first attitude, if you really want to learn the 48 ways, that's the gentleman to teach it to you. I'm not kidding. He has a whole series he's putting together on how each of these is the tool that changes everything in life. That's Rabbi Dembo I mentioned to you the other night. That if you really want 48 ways, probably in this city anyways, he's the closest Talmud of Rav Noach for 48 ways. He's the guy, but it's not easy to get him to give it over to you. So the first is Eima. That whole section has got to get cut from the tape, Adam, because it'll embarrass him. The second of the 40.
It's going to be like sheer and
beep. Take it out. Yira.
Who's really the best person since, bro?
Eima. So Eima is awe. Do you hear it? What the concept is? The next is Yira. Yira is fear. Totally different thing. Fear is an emotion of pain in the expectation of hurt, of loss. Fear is a painful emotion you feel in the anticipation or expectation of pain or of loss. Fearlessness is a tremendously painful, sad thing for a person to have. When you're a teenager, you're fearless. Why? Because you're too stupid to know that you have anything at risk. Right? What's fear? Fear is there is something that's precious to me, and that thing is at risk. One way to avoid fear is to not have anything in life that's precious to you. Right? What brings you? Why are you afraid of the economy? Because you've got a wife and a kid to feed, and they're very precious to you. And you're worried that if you don't have a job and you don't have an income and the economy falls apart, you're not going to be able to feed them. And they're precious to you. You love them. I'm afraid, when we did this the other night, I was a teenager, we were amateur rock climbers. We were stupid amateur rock climbers. We didn't know enough to get reason before the days of training and equipment and gear and safety. We just would go out places and say, this is cool, and go climb the face of things. And now I drive by and I look at them as a grown-up, it's like, we were so stupid. I mean, even then, sometimes you come down from stuff, or you get stuck on stuff, or you get to the top of stuff and figure there's no easy way down for you, and you think, we are stupid. But we were fearless. We were fearless because we had no recognition that we had anything in our lives that was important. Right? We're invincible. Right? People who are skydivers until they get married and have kids, and all of a sudden, you know what? That crack up is really important. It costs me my wife, it costs me my kid, it costs me my life with it. Fear is an emotion that wakes you up and mobilizes you, that makes your life real. Because if you stay home every day and lie on the couch and eat, tortilla chips and nachos and watch TV, and you don't get a job and you don't earn any money, and you can't qualify for Section 8 housing and food stamps and welfare and free health care and whatever else they're going to give you, then eventually, when the government money runs out, your kids are going to starve. Right? It's like you have pain. The pain of fear is worth the heightened awareness it gives you of your life. Right? Pain is the recognition that my life and things in my life are precious to me, and that my choices and my decisions and my learning and my growth matter. Because whether those people and things in my life thrive and succeed or not come from whether or not I do what I have to do. The first is you have to recognize that the world is full of greatness. That's Eima. The second is fear, is Yira. You have to have the clarity to recognize that your choices are going to matter. Right? That what you do is going to matter. And you can break it all. Right? You can make the wrong choice and destroy your wife, destroy your kids, destroy yourself, lose your job. You know, you can end up as a drunk, homeless bum living in an old van down by the river if you're not careful. Right? That's what fear is about. Fear is the reality that life actually matters and that your choices will influence whether it works for you or not. That's Yira.